I am. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chelsea Echo podcast. I'm going to take these off because it's repeating in my ears. Should we start again?
No, I think we should
that
carry
was
on.
fun.
I quite like that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chelsea Echo podcast. My name is Mooch, this is Louis, this is Nico. Our Twitters are down below. Go give us a follow, tickle the bell and all that. And we're here to talk about Chelsea Football Club and the result that we had yesterday.
Yes.
Fantastic, wasn't it? 3-1 win.
Yes.
Down at the Amex.
Bit of revenge.
It was indeed. Obviously, 1-0 draw in front of 2,500 people. And then we go and get the result we needed to kickstart the season, actually put us in the top four after one game.
If we scored another goal, we would have been top of the league.
Exactly.
Very early to sort of give a crap about that.
I know, I know, exactly
but
that.
3 points is all that matters, and that's the difference between this season and last season. Didn't we draw? We drew against them
1-1.
Twice.
Cost us the top three.
Was it Bash who scored the overhead kick?
Yep.
Really awful. But I mean, obviously, with it being a review of the game, and obviously then we'll touch on other subjects after it, we will be going through strengths first. I say we do that. Then we go through weaknesses.
Yep.
Then we go through our new signings. And then it's kind of any other news.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
sounds good.
So if we just get up the old report from the BB of C and have a look at Chelsea's strengths and weaknesses. First of all, strength, goals. Something we did not get a lot of last year.
We scored over our XG, which was unique. We didn't look the better side for a lot of the game,
Agreed.
but we ground out a result, which is a great strength. You know, I think that's as Frank touched on, the determinism and that sort of ruthless winning spirit is there that wasn't there last season. It's not filling me with the excitement and the sort of anticipation of us we're going to storm the league, but Brighton hadn't had as many internationals away. They'd had a longer pre-season, a much more settled squad, and they're a decent side, as they proved last year. You know, I mean, I'm happy with the result. I can't complain too much, and I think it's a great start to the season. And you're the one you told me this stat. Every time we've started the Premier League on a Monday and won, we end up going on to win the Premiership.
We did.
Premier League.
I mean, I don't think that'll happen this year.
Shut up.
Why?
I don't think it will.
Why, Louis?
Because I'm a natural pessimist. And I like, play my cards close to my chest. Do you know what I mean? And I have a very large chest. But outside of that, obviously, I mean, Frank Lampard has come out and said, obviously, he doesn't expect us to win the league. He's literally direct quote in front of me here. Said, we definitely want to close the gap on Liverpool. We have so many intentions to be up there. And even though it's a big ask to win the title, I mean, he's then ended the quote on BBC really early. But I mean, yeah, basically, he says it's a big ask for us to win the title, but we can do it. I guess he set his sights high. He also said very openly in the preview to the game that he doesn't want Chelsea just to be an academy club, which is why when people have slated us for all these signings, we've actually tried to implement it with the youth products as well, which is going to be difficult. And we already addressed that when we did the preview, didn't we?
Yeah. And there's 5 first-team players who are missing. Pulisic, Thiago, who's probably going to be a first-team player. Chilwell.
Malang Sarr, arguably.
No.
He's going out on loan.
Is that confirmed
Ziyech.
now?
Yeah.
Ziyech and Kovacic.
Yeah.
I mean, Kovacic in that game was desperately needed. We needed that sort of dynamism in the midfield.
Yeah.
Jorginho played very well. I thought he did well.
He did. He
Captain the side.
What I found interesting is that there seemed to already be quite a good understanding between him and Timo Werner. Like, Werner was making a lot of really interesting runs that I haven't seen someone in a Chelsea shirt make for the longest time, and Jorginho was certainly sniffing for those runs and looking for the pass. I think the one thing that...
Costa Fabregas-esque.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. The one thing I took away from the game, which is, I heard a lot of people online yesterday saying, it was a bit underwhelming and was a bit boring, despite obviously a great result. There's parts of me that agree with that. I think what happened is that Brighton, to their credit, obviously identified where the dangers are. But I think that, just focusing on us for a minute, I think the thing we were doing wrong is I felt like the creative players, the deeper creative players, were almost getting a bit overzealous and overexcited. It was like, let's every time look for that long ball for Werner. Let's every time look for that ball to Kai. to Kai Havertz, and it was like, well, if you keep playing long balls, eventually they're going to figure that out, and it didn't take them long to figure that out, and that's why the game sort of became a bit of a war of attrition, in my opinion.
No, I agree, but I think obviously we can go on to the negatives because there is a few. I mean, one big one I would want to talk about is
I'd spin it. Sorry to cut you, mate. I'd actually spin it and say it wouldn't take it so much as a negative. As a sort of bit of critical analysis, sure, but I think the fact that we're looking for the passes and that we've got players now who we can find with those passes, it's almost a positive.
Oh no, yeah, I mean it is. I think Timo Werner, I noticed a lot of the game. He must have been told it, but he also did it naturally for Leipzig as well, as he often liked to float out to the left-hand side. And he was doing that when Tariq Lamptey was bombing forward, who, by the way, we will be talking about him. He looked unreal.
I tell you who looked better.
Go on.
James.
That
goal.
James.
Fucking
There
hell.
is the next positive. Reece James.
James.
Already people are waking up to see that he is arguably better than Trent.
Whoa.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
I don't think so. Maybe he's a happy medium between Wan-Bissaka and Trent. And did we shift him into midfield?
Yeah, we did. So
And he looked comfortable there.
well, he played as a number 8, as a striker, as a right back. Played everywhere for Wigan pretty much, and naturally he can play as a midfielder and as a right back. So I mean, he did that. Looks solid. I think it's definitely something we could consider in the long term if something needs to change or if we're a bit light in certain areas. But I don't think we will be in midfield this year, considering the
The thing is, we've got like
we've
19
got
midfielders.
Yeah, we've got 7.5 million out on loan as well. But I mean, it's one of those. Analysing it, I think he had a fantastic game. I thought defensively, in comparison to last season, I felt it was a bit more sound. He was tracking back more. He wasn't caught out as often. I think that was also helped by N'Golo Kante as well.
To build on that defence, we've been talking about Timo Werner's runs forward. The part that really, really impressed me was when he made a tackle deep, fed a pass, and started a run from close, sort of between the halfway line and our own box, and still ended up in the opponent's box chasing a pass. And I think the only thing that went wrong was Ruben tried to play a bit of a clever pass, go for the nutmeg instead of just releasing the ball earlier. But Timo Werner won that in our own half.
Exactly.
So our attackers are tracking back. Now that's
and it's
that's
a
Mourinho-esque.
Can I say another big thing about our defence? I thought Kurt Zouma and Andreas Christensen had a fantastic game yesterday. And Andreas Christensen, I've always been a massive critic of him.
Likewise myself.
I feel that
Kurt Zouma.
I felt that Christensen's often had a massive lack of physicality. But yesterday he was reading passes, putting in challenges and starting moves from the back, which we didn't often see last season. So he looked quality. And obviously now it's a case of Thiago Silva, I think we all agree, will probably be a first-team player next season.
Well, he should be. Give the younger lads a bit of experience. Give them a bit of a solid head.
We've not signed him up for the future, put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, so now having said that, having seen the defensive pairing work so well, obviously we still conceded. I mean, that is what we do a lot of at the minute. Despite that goal which Brighton scored, I don't really think you can move a pairing, which was the biggest problem we had last year, was there was no consistency of defenders at the back.
Right.
I would personally keep the pairing the same, and then if it doesn't work, that's when you look to re-establish. I don't think having Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Firmino running at you for Thiago Silva's first game is a good idea, and I would consider that a little bit of a baptism of fire.
I'm not sure I agree with that statement, mate.
Okay.
A baptism of fire in terms of his first game in the Premier League, sure, but this is an international Brazilian worldie. He's played at the highest level for so long. He has played in a number of leagues for so long. He's played internationally for so long. For a long time, certainly by myself and I know by others, he was regarded as one of, if not the finest defender in the world. Don't get me wrong, I do not throw any shade in the direction of Liverpool's front three. It's scary. But if we're going to talk about the pedigree of great defenders, Silva can definitely handle it.
So you'd throw him in for that?
Fit? Yeah, probably. I'd probably put him and Zouma together.
Good shout. I agree with that. But I mean, we can talk about that later. I think that's
Thiago Silva and Zouma.
Yeah.
Both speak French. Zouma's not. Silva's not. He's taking intensive English lessons, but I think that's got to be the pairing just because you need that communication.
And I think obviously when Mendy does arrive, because that is a deal that's done, you've got a French goalkeeper there as well.
Yeah.
Senegalese, but he speaks French. So I mean, that probably will be the done thing, won't it?
So Chilwell needs to learn French.
Yeah, basically.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Ben, j'habite dans London. Yeah, that's Ben Chilwell.
Can I just build on that passing Frank Lampard statement a minute? I thought, despite the fact that it does very much seem the writing's on the wall with us getting a new keeper, I think his post-match interview was elegant and masterful, the way that the press were really, really niggling at him.
I think anyone believed it, but like, yeah.
No one believed it, but
yeah,
you want to see a manager who
was
elegantly
it a-
backed his player, who said he's our number one, nothing's
I'm
changing.
I'm happy with
the
Kepa.
performance. And they then prodded him again, saying,
Yeah.
no, but what about this other keeper? Not talking about that. I was like, do you know what? Well played, Frank.
It was, but I think
well done.
I think now this is where we can. We've addressed the positives of we got the job done, which we didn't often do last season against smaller opposition.
Yep.
We looked solid, or didn't look as solid as we like. We looked better, but there's obviously still room for improvement. Obviously, it is the first game of the season. Negatives, we do need to talk about Kepa, because that goal, you cannot be conceding that.
I agree.
You can't.
And
Agree.
look,
he misread
you
the
think-
bounce completely.
You think maybe start of a new season, couple of good performances, confidence will be sort of buoyed a bit, but you saw his head drop because he knew he'd dropped a clanger there. As soon as it bounced under him, you
Clanger?
just saw him. Well,
Yeah, I'd say Klanger. He didn't make the movement before when the ball hit the foot.
He was too far to his left.
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way: there was no way. I mean, this is. I was sat with a goalkeeper coach watching this, and he's done it to a high level, and he made some very good points about it. Leandro Trossard, when he cut in, there was no way he was going to go
going
back
near
across
post.
his
Yeah,
body.
no, of course.
Physically, he couldn't do it. Kepa did
Should
not
have
move until the
anticipated
ball
that.
went. Exactly.
Yep.
So straight off the bat, he caused his own issues. So, I think that
He
with
also
that,
completely misread the bounce, because
Yeah.
there was a slight awkward bounce just in front of goal, but
It went
you're
under his arm.
high-class-
He'd made the ground up, but he just hadn't.
You misread the
but
bounce.
if
that
if
was the thing.
I don't think that the bounce, yes, but I think at the same time that if he had made those
Space.
simple movements earlier,
Agreed.
that wouldn't have been a problem. He'd have just collected that and we could have moved on. But this is the problem with Kepa.
If we're going to keep talking about Kepa, mate, this is relevant to another negative I'd like to raise. Obviously, football is a game of fine margins. Was it Lewis Dunk who very easily could have got a second goal
Yeah.
for Brighton?
Yeah,
and
and
I can
tried
tell
to-
you, when that second goal nearly came in, Kepa's position was fucking terrible. He was so caught in no man's land. It's like, am I on my line? Am I going out? And then when he made the decision to go out, he then didn't commit to going out and started backtracking. It's like, that's the point.
From
that
my
bothered
memory, I
me.
thought he was there, but if he'd just powered it at Kepa, it probably would. It was like 80% going to go in.
I mean,
He
it's the
could
fact.
have made
Yeah.
a few more steps and given that ball a good punch, because it was head level. It
Oh,
wasn't-
oh,
it wasn't-
when the cross came in, sorry,
Had
okay.
he gone out, because he sort of went out
Just
and
the
then said, no,
indecision.
I'm going to
But
go back.
that's
The
the problem.
indecision. Like,
Kepa-
go out, punch the ball, or catch the ball. I know
doesn't-
he's
he
a little
doesn't-
dude, but
He-
he's still got your hand.
No, but he doesn't control his error. That's always been his biggest.
He
weakness.
flapped at one as well. He got away with it in the first half. But look, I mean, we've got a new goalkeeper coming in, despite what Frank has just said.
Yeah.
Frank openly lied to everyone. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't want to talk about
When,
that.
and
Kepa's our
minutes
number
later,
one.
Fabrizio Romano tweeted, "We've signed Kepa. We signed Mendy. Pretty much."
He put.
is it confirmed now?
Yeah, he's
I
done.
actually didn't know
the
that.
guys. So literally, the guy is in London. It's done.
Okay.
He's packed up at Rennes. He's got all his stuff. He's moving across. It's
Packed up
sorted.
where?
He's packed at Rennes.
Oh, good. Thank you. You said Rennes.
Oh, did I? Sorry. At Rennes. But yeah, he.
That should be an ongoing segment, pronouncing French football team names.
I think just pronouncing anything for Mooch should be a good game. Just give Mooch something.
I can pronounce it. I just refuse.
Yeah.
It's just.
The
To be
day.
fair, there are some which are
is-
much funnier if you get them wrong.
Oh, I hate.
Gwyngamp is my personal favourite.
Gwyngamp.
Instead of Gangon, it's Gwyngamp.
Gwyngamp.
Gwyngamp. That's a good one.
I
Is that a
just-
team, or-
It's more on the
or
one
cheese.
that one that really grinds my gears is when people go Cagliari. Oh my god, it's not Cagliari. If you're going to say it badly, just say Cagliari.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
It's
say
where it is.
Cagliari. Calligraphy.
And you couldn't even say.
Caligari.
Oh dear. But yeah, I think we should find one every week. To be fair, we should move on. But I mean, yeah, Kepa basically same old story. New keeper coming in, competition, or to replace him, we don't know. We'll have to see how he reacts. This new guy. Next one, and this is a big one for me. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. This year for him,
Make
I mean,
or
it's
break.
yeah, it's only been one game, so I'm not going to sit here and sensationalise and just go,
But no,
my
we're
God,
talking
it's
about the
rubbish.
year.
Yeah, but the whole year,
Yeah.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek has to deliver.
Yeah.
And yesterday,
He didn't.
he didn't.
He
And
should have
severely
set
didn't.
Werner free. That silly nutmeg pass he went for.
that was frustrating,
Oh,
to say the least.
because then you've got Werner scoring in his first game. You can tell the guy's already full of confidence.
Yeah.
But you get a goal in your opener.
And
Let him
Ruben
fly.
gets an assist. Look, I mean, he tried to make the pass. Was it Dunk? He intercepted it. I mean,
But then why wait so long and why go for a nutmeg pass? Just go around.
Yeah.
Little pass around. You've got Timo Werner proved he is lightning quick.
yeah. But
Just
this
feed him.
is what comes with playing with a player for, longer than 10 days, and also no one's match fit. I mean, did you see the Havertz pass that's going to be
Oh,
memes?
dear, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
look, it's everyone is rusty, so.
Dude, my brother-in-law turned to me that he's a massive United fan, but he turned to me and
Oh,
said,
they're all excited about it. They're all
he turned
excited.
and went, you paid how much for him? I was like, fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But Kai Havertz, he will come into his own, hopefully, at some point. I'm not saying anything, because that literally, when we spoke about this the other week, when he signed, we all said
It's exciting.
it's exciting, but let's see what he can
There
do.
have been
I mean,
plenty of excitement.
He was playing on the right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's. I don't. That's another. I mean, I'm not I'm questioning Frank's team selection, but why didn't we? I don't know why. Maybe he saw Ruben training well in the week. So why wasn't Havertz as a 10 and
But
show?
I raised this last week when everyone was like, no, he's an out-and-out striker or a false 9 or a number 10. And I said, no, like for Bayer Leverkusen and sometimes for Germany, they play him out wide. Like he's very, very multi-dimensional.
But the thing is, I noticed about the way we were playing, we weren't actually playing with wingers.
Yeah, that's it. Mount didn't have an electrifying game either.
I thought Mount did what he's been doing
But
for
he
the past
worked.
year.
He
which
worked.
Was,
He
Mount
worked his
is
socks
he's a
off.
player. It's ticks. That's all he does.
I hate
and his
to
quality.
make comparisons. He's a bit like Chelsea's Roberto Firmino in the sense that he's just like an energizer bunny.
Yeah.
He just goes on and on and on and on and on. He does not stop running.
Yeah.
Like even at the end, I think it was like the 89th minute, but Brighton did a kind of fluffed clearance and he still chased it and kept the ball in and then started running again.
Yeah.
So, hey, that wasn't going anywhere positive for us, and you're running at that in 89 minutes. Fair play to you.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like he's great at that, and we played like a 4-2-2. Was it 4-2-2? Yeah, almost, because obviously Werner was
Kind
fighting
of.
out wide, and you had Ruben Loftus-Cheek almost playing as a second striker in some instances. But it wasn't just Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Again, I felt yesterday, even when Barkley came on as well, and in the final third, it was those milliseconds. As we said, they were rusty, but it was those milliseconds where we could have made a simpler pass, or we could have made the pass earlier to feed Werner through, or feed another player through to try and get another goal. That the decisiveness just wasn't there, and whether or not that will come with, I don't know, new signings or something else, then we'll have to see. It will come with time, but I think, look, Kai Havertz started a bit slow, wasn't his strongest, but we'll have to see what happens with that. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the big one. He is either going to have to make it work or has
Or go
considered his
out on loan
career.
or get
I say
Nah,
sold.
Get rid of him then. I'd
If he
agree.
doesn't work.
I'd agree with you, Louis. And I've raised this with you on air a few times and off air so many times. This constant theme of he's still young, give him time. Again, we
He's
go
25
back to,
now, isn't he?
Yeah,
But that's
25.
the other thing. People forget that he's actually in his mid-20s. He's coming into literally the start of the summer of his career. Like, step up. Now's the time. David Silva at 25. Unreal. I'm not saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek needs to aspire to be the next David Silva, but it would be nice.
He's stepping into Jesse Lingard territory if he's not
He
careful.
really is. The thing that should have been that never was.
Yeah.
He doesn't dance though.
No, I mean,
doesn't do silly.
no, he just wears Burberry coats instead.
But he's got all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to step up.
You can tell that Achilles injury has mentally fucked it.
Well,
Well, Achilles injuries are
I don't know about
horrendous, aren't they?
Yeah.
They
I've done
take-
both of mine. It sucks. It sucks.
We'll have to. We at some point on this podcast, we do need to talk about your fight career because people don't know that.
Was your fight career the same after your Achilles injuries?
Achilles, yes, because I did extensive therapy before getting back in the ring. What I never recovered from was my tibia break.
Tell the story.
What?
Well, you're not telling it again technically to me. I mean, we all know the story, but the audience don't know the story. Tell the story.
Do you want me to tell the story?
Tell the story. Can you
Okay.
tell? Mooch, is he allowed?
Yeah. Is he allowed? Like, I'm the dad. No, son, it's far too late.
No, so one of the last fights I had before hanging up the old gloves was Muay Thai, by the way, not boxing.
Because you broke your tibia.
Exactly. Weird one's a proper punch, that one. No, I was fighting against this Maghreban boy, this Algerian kid who tearing it up around Southeast Asia. He'd been beating all of the big boys, and it was kind of like a fight between me and him to decide who was going to go on and fight for the championship of Thailand at our weight. And he went to town on my legs for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And in Muay Thai, I don't know if you know this, the way you block a kick
With the
is
shins.
you use your shin, exactly. So, because the aim is to go for either one of the lower joints or to go for the outside or inside of the knee. A lot of people you'll see kind of kicking flesh, like in the thigh or in the calf. That doesn't really hurt. It slaps, that stings. But if you hear the thud, which you don't hear, that's what hurts. That's when they've got you right in the joint or on bone.
Is it?
And round 2, he put my knee out essentially in round 2, my left knee. Right at the end of the round, thankfully. Obviously, you can't show that you're in pain, so round ends, ding, ding. I put my hands up going, yeah, I'm all good. My trainer looks at me and goes, you're fucked, aren't you? I mate, proper fucked. I said, I think you need to throw in the towel, my knee's out. He's like, no. Let me try to put it back in.
Oh, God.
So essentially, if you imagine that's my leg, he got his arm under my knee and kind of snapped it and pushed the knee back in. It kind of went back in, but I could still feel it loose. And
Every time you tell the story, I feel sick.
Well, you've seen the video.
Oh, yeah.
What really, really scared me is because obviously you're looking across the ring at your opponent, and I could see his corner saying, "You fight him, go for the left knee." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in for a rough time here." And that's exactly what he did. So essentially, he's going outside kick, inside kick, just aiming for my left. So I'm having to either fight southpaw, which I don't like doing. And if I'm not doing that, to keep him guessing, I'm switching my guard back and forth. But then when he's going for my left knee, I'm having to block crossbody with my right tibia. After 4 rounds, he's kicked me so much in the right tibia that so if you imagine that's my tibia, that bottom part, sort of halfway down the tibia to the ankle, just went snap backwards, turned to jelly.
And did you pop that back in?
No. So I got lucky because the pain was so big that as my, obviously the impact hurt, but as my leg went down, obviously you've got the upper part of the bone that's now pushing down. So it was so painful that my leg shot up and the knee caught him right under the chest and he dropped and didn't get up. I was like, yes!
Oh, and you won?
Yeah, I won. Fucking won.
Oh, amazing.
That's my trainer.
I was going to say, because if that other guy won, why don't we do the podcast with him? Only winners on this fucking podcast. Jesus Christ. But obviously then you couldn't compete because you'd snapped your leg.
So I snapped the bottom part of my tibia. What they kept on trying to do was they wanted to bring me back early because of this title fight, and I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not recovered yet. They wanted me back in after 4 or 5 months. I was like, no. I've been out for 3 at minimum. I want to make sure that I'm kicking properly again. I want to make sure that my balance is right. And it was never right again.
Yeah.
It fucked me.
But this is where we can tie it back in quite nicely with Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah.
Obviously, as someone who's been in sport and having to get past the mental barrier of a severe injury, and being a pussy. How does that work? Like, if you were in Ruben Loftus-Cheek's position, do you think that maybe that's the reason he's not performing, or do you feel that right now, because he's basically had a full year of recovery, that it's now a case of
rusty.
You're just rusty, need work?
I'll be real. What happened with me was that I took about a year out from fighting. I was training, but I felt every time I went full strength with my right leg trying to kick, my body was saying, pull back. You've got this fear in you. I don't obviously know how that would translate to a football stance in terms of an Achilles, how you use it in football. But however it translates, it's definitely going to be on his mind. And that's something that you can overcome it. That's what sports psychologists are there for. It's about building up confidence. It's about creating that, mind to muscle or mind to joint or mind to bone connection to make you believe that, no, your body's fine now. What's going on up here, that's all, it's like PTSD. It's kind of like you've suffered a trauma and your brain is telling you, back out. You don't want to go. You don't want to put your body through that again. So it can be overcome, and I believe at his level, at his age, and with the money he's got, and with the support system he has, he should be able to overcome it. But it is quite a fucking trauma going through a break like that.
Yeah.
Like it really, really sends, it sends shockwaves through your body and through your mind. It really makes you think, shit, am I ever going to find my feet again?
I was surprised he started.
Yeah.
It was a pleasant surprise. I want to see him get chances. I want to see him kick on. I want to see him be that England player that he was during the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only going to get that with games.
Yeah.
Frank obviously thought he trained well. He's the profile of player that maybe we needed, someone who's just a bit more physical in the side.
Yeah.
Someone a bit more of a presence. But
Him and Kovacic?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. And you got the.
I don't think Jorginho and Kante should be playing together.
I made the joke about it when he came off for Barkley. It was like, sorry, the manager again. It's the case of, we've got you have the
What did they see
three
in
players. Well, clearly they see something in Barkley, or if he wouldn't be in the squad.
I thought Barkley played well. I thought I thought the game kind of changed when he came on.
He was a lot more forthcoming, but I think with the three of them,
Him, Aspi, and Cho, sort of in the last 10-15 minutes, seemed like we were making progress and coming into the game.
Yeah, I think that Aspie came on to kind of shored it all up where we were kind of a bit weaker. I guess he covered it right back. Cho looked at, again, when we're talking about the Achilles injuries, he came on and kicked on. But there's actually a whole segment I wanted to talk about with him because obviously the Bayern Munich rumours have started circulating again. But with Loftus-Cheek, I think, just to round it off, because obviously this is a clip in itself, really.
Yeah.
If, and this is something which I think could happen, and having been quite good with my crystal ball with this transfer window, I think I'll say it
you
again.
called a lot.
Crystal Palace come calling again. We want to take Loftus-Cheek on loan with an option to buy. Yes or no?
No, because I want to see him. As you said, this is his make or break year. If it's break, either way, if he makes it, I want him to make it in a Chelsea shirt, because it's all very well him making it in a Palace shirt and then coming back and there's that pressure again. It's like, well, you did it here, but can you do it for us? It's like, no. Make it here, or that's it.
What is his position?
Number 8. I see
exactly.
him as I see him.
Was he playing as a 10?
We were playing with it was almost a 6, 4, and an 8, but really awkward
But
6,
this
4,
is
and
the
8.
thing, and I don't think it's fair on him. In what is his position?
It almost felt last night like Frank was going 4-2-1-3, and that the 1 and the 3 were kind of drifting all over the place.
Yeah, but then this is another thing. So
But I'm with you. I think he's an 8.
But yeah, go on. So you see him
Well,
as an 8, or you see him as a...
no, I thought he was playing more as a 10 yesterday.
I thought he was further forward, but I don't think he's a 10.
But this is the thing. It's kind of like, okay, where is his best position? Where is he going to be bedded in and get a bit more of a consistent sort of running a team in the same position instead of being played out on the wing or as a 10 or as a fucking 8?
If you remember, like in the season where he broke through with Sarri, I always look at that game against Malmo and I look against City in the Carabao Cup final where he just spun people for nothing. It was easy.
Refresh my memory. Where was he playing for Gareth Southgate?
He was playing on the right wing. So that's where he played for Palace as well. They played him out wide and he kind of floated in, bit like what we're doing with
never
Havertz.
getting a game for us there.
Exactly. So this
Well,
is
you
it.
never
So,
know. We've only got Callum Hudson-Odoi as a
Christian Pulisic can go both.
Yeah, but
Kai
with
Havertz can play there.
Yeah,
He's
but with
never getting a game there.
Well,
Ziyech, there you go.
But there's 2 wings and we've got 3 players, I suppose. 4 players.
I mean, even Werner might fly out there, but I mean, with Loftus-Cheek, if you think about how he played, he was the water boy. He was the ball carrier, just to sort of make sure that you get the ball from Jorginho, or Kante, whoever it was, and he would drive forward and connect the attack with Hazard, with Giroud, with whoever was playing as part of that front 3. So I think that's his best position. Is that how we're currently playing?
No.
Probably not. No, we've switched to a 4-2-3-1 rather than the 4-3-3. But again, Frank Lampard did say he wants that fluidity.
And he wants options and he wants constant change and dynamism.
So
I don't think he's going to tinker the team, but I think he will tinker the formation.
So having said that, just to round this little bit off about not Reece James, about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Sorry, keep him.
Yes, for this season, keep him.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I think he needs to be given a chance, and sending him out on loan is not giving him a chance, really.
Exactly.
And, I mean, if he's going to make it, if he makes it and breaks through the team in this season,
Great.
then he's earned that position because we've got a lot of midfielders.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. But yeah, I mean, obviously, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and if you think he can cut it.
And is it make or break?
And it is a make or break. The next topic, obviously, with that, where we talk about it, was Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yes.
So he came on, obviously, similar injury. People have not been as keen on him recently. He's not getting as many minutes. However, I thought when he came on, he offered that directness and he looked like a good option. But after the game yesterday, obviously, reports came out that apparently Chelsea were interested in loaning him out. And then after that, Bayern Munich then came calling again, and apparently it was Juventus that also registered their interest in Callum Hudson-Odoi for £35 million.
Now, I'll say this. Under no circumstance do I believe he should be sold. Absolutely not. He's 19. Way too early to cash in on him. Loan, I'd be for, especially if it was for one of Europe's elite, like Juve or Bayern. Not that they take him on loan, but I'm talking in an ideal world.
I think when you go to a European elite side, you're probably not going to get in the side. Do you know what I mean? You look at Ampadu going to Leipzig. He didn't really play that much. But if you look at as we said, Ruben going to Crystal Palace and playing every week, and that's what you want.
No, I agree with this, but let me with Callum, my thinking behind this, agree or disagree, but my thinking behind this is specifically with Bayern and with
So he's not
Juve.
going to get in a side of Bayern's fucking side.
No,
for sure.
but he won't get in Juve's team, mate.
Exactly. So
but I think hear me out. So Chelsea are very much a young team in the process of building and developing a load of really talented youngsters. We don't have a lot of aged, super experienced players. I know we've got the likes of Thiago Silva, but I mean specifically.
ZX is 28, isn't he?
27.
Yeah, but I'm talking about players who are sort of in the autumns of their careers, not at their peak.
Yeah, we just.
And if you send him to Bayern and Juve, he may not get a lot of games, but he'd be playing with the likes of Lewandowski, with Ronaldo. He'd be playing with the likes of Joshua Kimmich. He'd be playing with the likes of Thomas Muller. Now, those are, even in training, he's going to learn so much from players of that experience. That's why I would say loan is still fine.
I think look. I don't think we have enough wingers at the moment in our squad. No. I mean, we've got Pulisic. Werner's probably more of a striker, as we've seen now.
So Werner he actually played for Leipzig as like a left inside forward. He played off of a big man.
He's like Thierry Henry.
Yeah, that's what I thought I'd like to no, Tony Henry.
Terry Henry.
I think with him, what I think would have been really nice to see in the game yesterday, and I was kind of surprised it didn't happen. Personally, I thought at half-time, take off Loftus-Cheek, drop Mount into the 10, move Werner out to the left, have Giroud as that big target man to bounce the ball off and bring in Kai Havertz and Timo Werner.
I think that's a great shout.
That's why I'm a manager, boys. You know what I mean? I was going to say...
Jake, are you watching?
Shut up.
It's Jake's fault. Sorry, Jake.
But yeah, so I think you're going to be interested to see that. But, I think you're right. We don't have enough wingers, really.
And ultimately, I think a 19-year-old, 20-year-old player needs to be playing every week. I don't care if you're training next to Maradona, Messi and Ronaldo. If you're not playing every week, it's not the same. I understand it is good to have these, world-class players there, but what's going to do Callum
Game
more
time.
good? Game time.
No, I agree.
And I think ultimately he's going to probably get that with us because we're going to be in a lot of competitions. We've got players who, look, Ziyech is injured, Pulisic is injured, but I don't understand why he didn't come on and we put on Barkley. But
why who didn't come on? Sorry.
Callum Hudson-Odoi earlier. Sorry,
Yeah,
not.
I think there's definitely room for that. But it's something where we have to learn from it. But I think Callum Hudson-Odoi, whether he gets minutes with us or not, he needs them. But I think the point that you made about him maybe going to another side, I personally think by the sound of things, the Sancho deal to Man United is nearly done.
From what I've read, they've lost interest.
They've lost interest, but then I've also been seeing other things where they've been saying, oh, well, it's nearly there, or something's happening here.
There's so many different reports.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
is they've lost interest. The other is they're now going after Gareth Bale. The other is that, actually, we do want him because next year everyone's going to be after him, and this is our personal last chance to get him. It's all over the place.
But this
Nothing
is
is set
So,
yet,
I mean,
that's
if
for
that
sure.
wasn't done, put it this way, you've either got potentially Dortmund, which I think would be a great move, where he'd get the minutes, and you know where you're saying he'd be
he'd
playing
be
with top level,
brilliant at
be fantastic.
Dortmund.
There's somewhere in Germany I think would be great for him.
Yeah.
Failing that, it's something which is obviously a little bit more out there, but I think it could be something which could be considered, would be with Memphis Depay potentially
Barcelona.
going to Barcelona. Obviously, he plays more
Go to
centrally. He could go to Lyon, get more minutes there. Italy, I think, is out of the question. I think the Italian league's far too slow. It'd be great to build his confidence because he's rapid, and he would definitely bag a lot of goals over there. But I think maybe playing.
Who would you see him playing for in Italy?
I could see him playing for like an AC Milan.
I'd
something like that.
rather he'd go on loan to an English side so that he's kind of more prem proven.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I don't know why we're talking about this. It's game one. He's played.
Yeah.
We're gonna need him. I don't think Frank's gonna loan him out. I don't know where this rumor has come from. Maybe it's true, but I don't. I just think we are not. We've lost two really experienced wingers and brought in one striker winger and one winger. And I think we're light, even with Cho.
I'm not sure I agree, Mooch. Simple reason, if we're talking about out-and-out wingers, full stop, that's the end of the debate, sure. But I think taking your point and crossing that over with what Lampard said, which is about that dynamism, adding in a bit of what you said about how put Mason 10, put Timo out wide, and then Kai on the right. What our team does have, although it doesn't have any traditional wingers, one or two excluding obviously, there's not much depth if we're just going to play with traditional wingers. But I think the whole thing we're going for is to have this dynamism, is to have many options. So you can have Mason Mount on the left at one point, but then maybe bring Pulisic on and drop Mason Mount to 10, or maybe take Mason off, God forbid, and bring Hakim Ziyech on. It's good to have options, and I think the game's evolved past having like depth in one specific position. That certainly seems to be what Lampard's done. Is like, forget having two wingers on the right and two wingers on the left, which we can call on in time of need. Let's have a player, Kai Havertz, who can play
across
on the right,
front
on the left, in number 10, as Joachim Low has played him, which I still can't get my head around as a defensive midfielder. He's played as striker, like players who can play everywhere.
So having said that, then, if we're looking at that as the options, you've got Timo Werner, Kai Havertz as the two potential, let's have a little butchers. Mason Mount in there, we'll throw in for the hell of it. Why not? Out and out, Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech. Even he's not out and are going to be out and out. I reckon might play him as a 10 sometimes.
He can play
Cho,
anywhere creative.
You've got 6 players there that can play as wingers.
Yep. Traditional wingers,
Three who can
Mooch is
play,
right, we're light, but in terms of who can play on the wing and do a good
But
job,
I think we've got
sorted.
6 players there, but we're talking about a lot of players who will play in 3 positions there.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? So essentially, that's 2 for each position. Mason Mount can play as a 10 or winger. Ziyech
On
10
both wings,
winger.
though.
Yeah, Ziyech 10 winger. Havertz 10 winger
Or striker.
or striker. Werner striker,
Left
winger.
striker.
So I mean, and
So many options.
yeah, but I just on that bench, he was the only winger we could bring on.
Yeah, he's the only out that way.
So
I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we have one injury to one of our potential wingers.
I'm looking at the bench now. You had Rudiger, Barkley, Abraham, Caballero, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Aspilicueta.
There are some game changers.
Yeah,
there.
but thinking-
Giroud notably, obviously,
yeah,
because
but-
he gives you a different
Exactly,
option.
yeah. But thinking of players that were fully fit, I personally, as much as obviously it would be disheartening for him, I don't know why he had both Abraham and Giroud on the bench. Was there nobody else? I mean, I might be pulling a brain fart here. Was there nobody else because eventually look at to put on the bench as a different striking option? Because I mean, Abraham, he's almost in between
Timo
Giroud.
and Giroud,
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
game
Abraham's
changing.
almost a predator, isn't he? He likes to play in the 6-yard box and bag goals that way. So he doesn't really hold up the ball. He doesn't really run the way Timo does.
Yeah.
So he does give you a different option. But then again, I think Tammy would fit in well in a system that has Hudson-Odoi and Christian Pulisic firing on all cylinders. Really rapid players out wide who are going to pop quick balls into the 6-yard box. That's what I think would benefit Tammy.
Am I putting a brain fart though?
No.
Was there anyone else on the bench that we could have brought?
Not who was fit, no.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, there's lots of things to look at. I mean, Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think we're kind of a bit in limbo, the three of us here, talking about this because I don't think we know. Obviously, guys, let us know down in the comment section below. But we'll move on.
Let us know.
We'll move on, and it actually is another youth player, but he wasn't actually playing for us. It's Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah.
And I think the question here is he going to be one of those that we let go and are going to regret it, or is it a player where it just wasn't going to work out for him at Chelsea?
I said this to you off air just before we recorded, and I'll say it again now. That is going to be another De Bruyne, another Salah. That's going to be another the one that got away. I firmly believe that.
He's unreal.
I think he's a superb player.
Mooch?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think we had a choice. I think if we could have kept him, we would have kept him. He's determined, been brave, and gone, right, cool. I'd rather get game time and improve my game. He saw Reece James pushing for a first team spot. He saw our club captain Aspi in his position. Is he going? I'm not going to get the opportunities that I feel I should be getting. I'm going to move on. Wasn't going to sign an extension.
Yeah.
Tell me we put a buyback clause in.
I
Probably
think
not. I
no,
don't think
because it was less than a year less than the contract. I don't think we could do that.
These
I think
things
it
are
was
going to
just
happen, and
compensation.
it's
Football.
Brian Bertrand, similar sort of situation.
Yeah.
I
I
Still
get
got
that.
a Champions League winners medal.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. With Tariq Lamptey though, I get what we're saying. But we literally were touching on Callum Hudson-Odoi saying we don't have enough wingers. On his debut, you had Reece James playing as a right wing back, and you had him playing further forward as a winger.
And he looked great.
And he looked superb. I think I saw an interesting stat here about him, which was I think he got a match high 5 take-ons in comparison to everybody else, or something like that. At the same time.
Am I the only one who thought there looked like there was a bit of bad blood between him and Jorginho?
Oh yeah, no, I noticed that. But I also think
a good little kick,
Yeah.
Jorginho. It's proper swipe.
when he took it past Alonso.
Yeah, and then he had a fucking little mouth drop.
No, but then
he
he patted him. Was
I
it
missed that.
was it a patted him, or was it like?
I think it was a warning.
Yeah, maybe.
There seemed to be some.
I think
blood
yeah.
there.
I also think maybe it was just Jorginho.
But also, he just nutmegged Alonso, so maybe that's kind of.
I think it was just maybe just Jorginho backing his boy, going right. That's it. Have some of that. I thought Alonso was poor yesterday. I think that was something else which wasn't touched on. He got done too many times. But I mean, as a left back, I think we all agree that's where. Yeah.
When's Chilwell back? I tried to Google it last night.
So I believe. Well, let's head across to our favourite website, shall we?
Pornhub.
No. Thank you for demonetising the video. Come on, I'm not amateur. Private browsing, man. Come on.
we all make mistakes.
So Chilwell, in terms of news, if we have a little look, Chilwell is supposed to be back in the next.
Does it tell you on Transfermarkt?
It should tell you on Transfermarkt. It'll have it on the career stuff. I've got a weird thing on me.
Fly.
Yeah, call him Dennis. Stats, current season. No, it doesn't tell us. Forget it. Anyway, well, it should be the next couple of weeks because he has been out for a little while. So I think, yeah, it shouldn't be too long. But I think you've got Alonso there. I would personally move Aspie over to left back. For bloody Fly. I'd have started Aspie at left back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we play a 3-back.
I think that's
I
probably
don't want Alonso playing against Salah.
Can I but Alonso as a left wing back is a different animal.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
So-
I think that's probably what we
Alonso
will
as a
do.
left back, no.
Do you think Thiago will come in?
I would say so, yeah. But I'd
think
say
he needs to.
that's a conversation for the preview boys. I think we should save our predicted match lineups for that.
Are we doing that now?
We can film it straight afterwards, or we can do it later. We can talk about that afterwards. Cool. But yeah, I think look, Tariq Lamptey, obviously fantastic performance by him. Be interested to see how he gets on this season. I did have a little bit of pride watching him.
Yeah.
Because I was there,
God,
being,
yeah.
it's really good to see he's kicked on and done well.
Yeah.
Because obviously when he moved to Brighton, he wasn't getting the minutes. Then towards the back end of the season, he just came in and really did a job. And then Graham Potter's obviously now a massive fan of him. But yeah,
He's a
look,
good manager, Graham Potter, I
he
have
is
to
very
say.
good manager. You know, going from uni football,
Yeah.
all the way to the top of the.
Is that what your hopes are?
No, my I've
Did you do football degree?
Yeah, I did do a football degree, but I did business and media.
Okay.
So I'm much more fit for the boardroom, apparently.
Fair
I
enough.
don't know who
Is that
told.
in your mind?
No, I got told that. Said you'd be really good in the boardroom. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I'm no good in the boardroom. I just I like being amongst it. I'm a man of the people. What can I say?
Comment below if you agree.
You're just going to bring up Ubers, aren't you? But yeah.
I actually wasn't, but yeah, while we're on it.
I've started using Bolt because it's cheaper. So that's
Oh,
that.
man of the people.
There we go.
You don't walk or take, bus and train like
I mean,
the rest of us.
we were going to, but me and Eden were watching Ted Lasso for a bit too long, so we left it a bit tight.
Man of the people, Ted Lasso.
Exactly. Ted Lasso is a man of people. That's a great show, by the way.
Oh yeah, I saw some stuff.
I'll
on
give you
YouTube.
I'll give you the Apple TV login, mate. It's brilliant.
Cool.
I got that for free because I'm a man of the people.
Did your dad pay for it?
No, actually, I got it. Thank you very much.
Man of the people.
Next topic.
But yeah, next topic. So yeah, obviously, we spoke about that. Tariq Lamptey, how good he's been. Now I guess it's just a little bit of a roundup. We've done the good, the bad. We've done a little bit outside of the box as well. Interesting news for the day. As of 3 hours ago, Branislav Ivanovic has moved to West Brom. Branislav Ivanovic, the man which apparently I absolutely despise, but I don't.
What?
Why?
No, because
I mean, there is
because
one video
there is
of you
one video where I lost my
absolutely-
rag.
Oh, what, when I haven't seen half your rant videos.
I don't want you to.
There's one where he loses.
Is that when? Because he was amazing for us and then just dropped off very quickly.
Yeah, it was literally that in that one season where
Yeah.
we kept playing it right back. And at the age of 17, I said he should fuck off, him and Fabregas. I look back at it now; it's embarrassing. I think.
Oh man,
You were so angry at 17. God
Can I be honest? That was a build-up of like a really shit school life for about 2 weeks, and then just some bloke from Southampton turns around and starts pissing me off, and then I just lose it from there. And then my life got worse after that. And then ironically, the school asked me to come back and do a load of stuff for him to talk about how successful I've been off the back of it.
Man of the people.
Yeah, no, but I told them to fuck off because they're arseholes. But outside of that,
What school was this, Louis?
I'm not going to name drop because
Didn't
they don't
think so.
deserve it. Considering they had a racist deputy head as well. But outside of that,
Fucking hell, if you're watching, you know. If you don't, you don't.
Branislav Ivanovic obviously going to West Brom. Good move, bad move.
Look,
I don't know.
don't know.
No, come on, no, go on, think about it.
he?
36.
What's is the question here? What is the question? Is he going to do well at West Brom?
I-
Yes,
what
he's a
if-
good damn player.
I
Are
don't-
we happy to see him back? Yes. Am I indebted to the years of service? Yes. I don't have much more to
Well,
add.
mate, what's he been doing? For the last,
he's
where's he
been
been
in,
playing?
Zenit.
Gazprom.
Gazprom. Just working for FIFA.
he's been playing for Zenit St. Petersburg.
Okay, so he's not been. So he's playing at a decent standard still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was nearly going to move back to Everton
That
last
would have
season
been a
as
good
well.
buy.
I think obviously they will not be playing him at right back. I mean, he's going to be playing a centre half. So
Can you imagine him and Ancelotti together again?
it'd be unreal. But I think
Yeah.
look, if you look at him, I think 36. I mean, we said that about Thiago Silva, 36 different player.
But wing
But
back is a different, it's
Right back,
a
yeah.
different. I
Yeah.
suppose right back.
But I mean,
yeah.
he's been playing as a centre back for Zenit St. Petersburg
Oh,
because
fair
of the
enough.
lack of
Yeah,
pace. But so do we think that as a player, based on that last 6 months, 18 months at Chelsea,
It's a different standard that he's going to be held to.
He'll be a very, very solid player for West Brom, and he'll be a cornerstone of their defence. I think if they stay up, he'll play a huge role.
I don't know the West Brom squad that well, so I couldn't say.
basically
got
he will.
Ivanovic.
He will.
Oh, great!
Put it this way, he will start. I mean, I think you got like El Ghazi and
He's
someone
an
else.
automatic starter for them. Let's
Um,
not be silly. He's a Champions League winner. He's a Europa League winner. He's a Premier League winner. He's a brilliant player.
Mm.
Of course, he's starting. Even at that age, he's starting for West Brom.
Definitely. So
Come on.
yeah, I think so. All in all, good signing for West Brom. So let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. A bit of other news as well. May as well have a little butchers while we are here. So apparently, Inter Milan are pursuing a permanent deal for Emerson. West Ham are looking at a loan deal. He's not going to play. Apparently, Chelsea have just flat out refused Inter's approach. which I don't quite understand.
Wonder what that's about. There's obviously some continued bad blood between Conte and our board then. That's all I can put that down to. I mean, it does feel a bit petty squabbles. I do believe that when football ultimately is a business, you've got a left back who's on our books who is literally sucking money out of the club and who's not going to play anymore now. Offload him. The only thing, this is pure hypotheses and hearsay. This is based on nothing, so do not take this to the bookies. But the only thing I can put that down to is that the relationship between Conte and Chelsea remains fractious. That's all I can imagine it is. There's
Definitely.
no rhyme or reason that if a club of that level, we're probably going to, if they made an official offer for him, do we have an amount? I imagine it must be upwards of 20 mil, surely.
Well, I think we're looking at about 25 to 30.
Take it. Why would you not take that?
I think
There's
it's
no
Marina.
rhyme or reason.
Is there anyone in the Inter-squad that could tickle your fancy as part of a swap deal?
Yeah, Romelu Lukaku.
That'd be good. But, I mean, I think that'd be interesting.
Christian Eriksen?
Nah.
Do we need him?
No,
Another midfielder?
That wasn't the question. It wasn't about who we need. Is there anyone who tickles my fancy? I rate Eriksen.
I rate him, but you have to.
And remember to tickle the bell.
I think that the obviously I said who would take your fancy.
Yeah,
but
Romelu Lukaku all day long.
But at the same time, it has to be realistic, and there's something that would make sense. I think Romelu Lukaku would be good. Obviously, Giroud apparently has got a deal in principle with Juventus as well to potentially go there.
He'd do well at Juve.
I think he'd do great at Juve, but obviously,
really good at Juve.
I think Emerson again. That's news. And I think the last one, which we'll wrap it off, the third or the final story, and I think again this is a conversation to have in itself, is about Declan Rice.
What about the what's the
Hang on,
striker
whoa.
that they've got? Who's going to Barca?
Oh, Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love him.
Sure.
But it's not going to happen. We're not going to get
Exactly.
Emerson,
Exactly.
a second-rate left back for one of the best forwards in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, obviously, let's know your thoughts. Who would you take? Who would you like to see in a swap deal for Inter? And or from West Ham, which ironically, Emerson, they want him on loan and potentially could be part of a deal for Declan Rice.
There you go. If that's the deal, then even more reason.
So West Ham, this is according to the Express, so take it with a pinch of salt. West Ham coroner David Gold sends clear Declan Rice transfer message to Chelsea. He has said, I would like to congratulate Declan Rice on his 100th appearance in the Premier League, a magnificent achievement. I am very proud of him. He epitomises everything this great football club stands for. And basically said that Declan's such a good player. I do like him, but we'd have to take a big fee. So
blah blah blah.
Yeah, blah usual stuff.
Promo,
so
talk.
Yeah, so
Boring.
Declan Rice, I think this is the transfer saga of the summer for a lot of people. Obviously, this has been rumbling on for a while. Well, Kai Havertz, this deal. I mean, this has been rumbling on for longer. He is going to come to Chelsea, I think. Touch wood, obviously, but it looks pretty much done. £60 million is the price they're wanting, plus add-ons. Obviously, again,
never.
I think the conversation we have here, there are a lot of people online that like to sensationalize the players and stuff and the news in regards to transfers. Declan Rice has been a big target of that this weekend. Obviously, after West Ham lost 2-0 to Newcastle, he didn't play especially well. I'm not going to sit here and say after one game, do you still want him? Because that would be completely stupid.
Havertz didn't play well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So
that's moronic.
Is Declan Rice still someone that we feel could make a difference at Chelsea, having already seen how we've been playing with the squad?
You've just used the magic word there. I think he'd be a very good squad player. My question remains, where the hell does he fit in?
Centre back.
You saying
ahead of Zuma, Christensen, Rudiger, Malang Sarr.
Malang Sarr's gone out on loan.
Forget Sarr, the other three. And we've got Thiago Silva.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm
I think
sure Dave at one point is eventually going to start going in at centre back.
I don't think Dave's going to be playing centre back, not with his height. If we're playing a 4-4-2.
Not this season, but
Dave as in Azpilicueta.
But we'd have to use him as a 3-back. Yeah. He will be using the 3-back.
I think, look, Declan Rice.
Where does Rice fit in?
I see him as that pivot.
Back.
I see him as a
Ahead
pivot.
of who?
Christensen.
Okay, but is Christensen getting in the team ahead of Thiago Silva and Kurt Zuma?
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing. It's you have them in your squad and you see who trains best and you see who plays well together. It's not the final position. You know, that's like saying, okay, where do you see Kai Havertz fitting in? Is he going to get is he going to shift Mount out. Well, look, they're going to play. It's a long season.
Yeah.
And Thiago Silva is going to be here for 1.5, 2 seasons max. So, I mean, Rudiger is not filling. Yeah. So, Rudy, you're not a fan of Zuma. I am. I think Zuma Rice.
He did well last night. Look.
Yeah.
If he plays well, he plays well. He did good last night.
So I think, but also it could be he's got that versatility. So we could play him as a defensive midfielder.
That's where I think he'd fit in.
To pay 60 million for a player of his quality, and I mean this in a positive way. I'm not having a dig at him here. He needs to be starting. And I don't know
if 60 million is really the fee that we're going to be paying for. That's what
we've got it. We've already got down.
Chilwell was 80, and then we got him for 45.
This is what I mean. I mean, we've written this week. It was not. Well, it was 90. It's already
30,
gone down
35?
to 60.
I'd pay 50 million.
I'd pay 40 to 50. Yeah.
This is
nothing going more than we paid for Timo Werner.
Well,
Timo Werner was an absolute steal. We can't get that every fucking season. Like, it's just a ridiculous release clause, and I don't know why Liverpool didn't splash the cash.
Oh, they're going to regret that one.
Like, if you look at the average price of, I mean, look, we're getting rid of Emerson for 30 million. Declan Rice is younger. He's got the sort of English tax. Do you know what I mean? You pay the premium for being a British player. He's Premier League
Chelsea
proven.
tax.
Chelsea tax. He's Premier League proven, and Chelsea want him, so that's what we're going to have to pay for him.
Yeah.
I rate him. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this to come across as if I don't rate him.
No,
I really
of course.
do rate him, but it's 60 million for a player who we're not even sure where he would fit in, and we're not even convinced that he would start. Just makes me go, really?
I think it's that's an advantage really, because you look at all the signings that Lampard's making, and he's mad keen on versatility.
Yeah.
So if he can play as a centre back, if he can play as a midfielder, great. And he's a ball-playing midfielder. He's a vocal player, which is what we're a quiet team apparently.
I think heard that.
Well, Declan Rice, people are talking.
We're not a very vocal team, and that's why Declan Rice is apparently being mooted as someone who can cajole that defence and get that, be the Terry.
Yeah, well, people are talking about him as the heir to the 26 shirt and as the player who will come and potentially be a captain.
Shirt. No one should touch that shirt and retire it.
Did we retire 25 as well?
Yeah, so when Zola left, it was not officially retired, but we had that testimonial. And then after testimonial, it was announced that, we're retiring the shirt. So it's not official.
Needs to be retired. That shouldn't be a debate.
I don't know. I think if the right player comes in to fit it, then potentially. I would have said,
25.
well, I think the number 8 should have been retired after Lampard.
I completely agree.
You can't retire an 8.
I mean, they retired the number 10 at Roma for Totti.
Yeah, but he's like...
We're
he
talking
is
about
Roma.
Frank Lampard.
Yeah, but Totti has never played for another team, ever.
That's true. That's another thing I find hilarious about West Ham. They put Frank Lampard on their mural and outside the London Stadium,
and then
claim to love him after, especially what they did, how they treated him, and they rated Scott Canham better than one of the best central midfielders to have ever lived. Enough said about West Ham there, but yeah, I think
shots fired.
I think Declan Rice for me, I see him as that defensive midfielder. I don't see him as a centre back. I see him as potentially the heir to Kante. Obviously, when I say that, let me elaborate. I'm not just saying the same player. I'm not saying he'll become to the same level. He's a completely different player, but he is very much a solid defensive midfielder, whereas Kante is more of an interceptor midfielder, playing as a defensive midfielder. Kante's had a lot of injuries. It could be someone who we could see rotating. But this is also a bigger problem with Chelsea, and we touched on it at the beginning. We didn't actually go into it. We've mentioned a lot of rotation.
Yes. Specifically formation.
Exactly, specifically formation, but at the same time also as players. A team cannot win a league rotating its squad consistently. If you look at every single league winning side over the past, forever.
When you say rotate the squad, you mean rotate the...
Well, no, but City rotated, but they still had that solid core. They had the same players playing week in, week out.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, but they didn't have that spine in Pep's first season. Do you know what I mean? They changed the goalkeeper. They changed the midfield. They had...
But the argument then would be, look how his first season went.
What?
First season.
He finished 4th, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's coming. This is a project. Like, we've got our striker now. Hopefully, I don't want to jinx this, but Werner looks like the mustard. We've got the mustard. Looks mustard.
The bee's knees.
Are you hungry, Mooch? Because I am as well.
The
Actually,
mustard.
You know, we've got some tens. We've got more
some
than enough
everything.
midfield. It's the goalkeeper and the centre backs, and then that's the spine coming through the team. And we've got a strong English sort of contingent there.
Yeah.
So would you make Declan Rice part a cornerstone? Bit stupid considering we're talking about a straight line and the spine here, but would you make him one of the crucial elements of that?
Would you make him one of the vertebrae?
I think it comes down to his performances and his training and his on and off pitch contributions. If he is a galvanizing player, then 100%. Because our defense is just all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's not because of lack of talent, it's lack of concentration.
Yeah.
I think there's just too many sort of lapses of concentration.
Areas of
and
view.
I think if there's someone there who is just like cracking that whip,
And you think he's the one to do it?
I think he's the long-term
Declan-
successor
I mean,
to
put it this
it.
way, Declan Rice.
So you think maybe Rice playing alongside someone like Thiago Silva could be hugely
100%.
beneficial for
I
the
feel
long
like
term?
they're too similar in
I
terms
think
of the way they
100%,
play.
but
So for that
also,
reason, they should learn from each other.
you know, like Zuma and Declan Rice could be a great partnership.
Yeah, this is it. I think as a player, I think there's no doubt Declan Rice for me is a player I'd like to see in a Chelsea shirt. He's a Chelsea fan. Obviously came through our academy, left at a young at 15,
Coming
14.
back from our second academy.
coming back from the second academy. A player which at the age of 21 has achieved 100 caps for West Ham United.
Yeah.
Not only that, he's also worn the armband, got the whole Ham of the Year thing, which is
I mean,
a big
that's
deal.
something that we really do need to like.
A long-term captain. That's true.
If you're 21 and captaining a Premiership side,
You're doing well.
that says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know it's kind of when Noble's not.
Well, I know it might be the case, but I mean, still, you've got players in that team that have been there for ages.
Yeah.
And you've got Fabianski, who's a Premier League keeper for years, who potentially was someone who could have been given the armband. Ogbonna played for Juventus. You know, I mean, you've got lots of other players in that West Ham side that could technically, by age and just by experience, could be ahead of Declan Rice. But David Moyes, who, by the way, I think as a manager gets a lot of stick. And I think he's been used fodder. I think he's been a very good manager. You look at his time at Everton and what he did for that club, and how he was basically used.
I still love that meme of him sitting at the Man United desk holding that mouse pad with the confused look on his face, going, "I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing."
Yeah, it was that. He didn't help himself when he went to Rio Ferdinand and showed him a video of Phil Jagielka and Sylvian Distan. I went to him and Vidic. This is how I want you to play. I'm sat there going, "Oh no, you can't help yourself there." But we have to give credit where it's due. He made Everton a very solid side. He did similar stuff in other places as well. You know, West Ham, I think, is a good fit for him. And he unfortunately, due to how that club is run, he will be the cannon fodder. But I think that if he is picking Declan Rice as a captain, as a Premier League manager with a lot of experience and a lot of experience in other places,
we can't ignore that.
Can't ignore it. And I think that, you know, if that's a player which Chelsea are interested in, if it was 60 million and you're paying that a little bit more, this is the problem where we have in terms of the squad balance. I think it's good to have a lot of these romances and bromances, same word basically, same thing. I'm saying bromances between players. You'd have Mount and Declan Rice. You've also got Hakim Ziyech and Ben Chilwell. I've already got one going there as well. You've got like Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. So you've got a lot of connections with players, which is something which is really, really invaluable. But the rotation could be an issue because.
Are you talking about rotational players or rotational formations?
I mean, I think all of it. I think
the rotational formation is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, a rotational formation is
I don't
good.
think that's a bad thing. Especially when these rotations are not really rotations. It's just fluidity depending on position of the ball and position of opposition.
I agree. I think the dynamism is a good thing, but I think at the same time you can't change too much all the time, which was the biggest problem we had last year. You look at that centre back pairing, we continuously changed it. We continuously changed the whole thing.
I don't think you need to do Claudio Ranieri levels of tinkering, but by that same token, I also don't think you necessarily need the rigidity of Jurgen Klopp's 4-3-3. Not because it doesn't work, as proven by recent history, but because with the players we've got, I don't think we lend ourselves favourably to having a rigid formation.
What's Tomori happening? What's happening with
Tomori? Apparently, he's either going to go on loan to France or he's going on loan to Everton, which was what I was reading a couple of days ago. But that's 2 days old.
I mean, look, we've got a lot of defenders now.
Yeah. But this is it, and this is what I'm trying to say is Frank Lampard last season had a very good balance in the squad, and it was an easy ride for him in terms of managing that because he had no transfers coming in, he had a pre-existing squad, and he was just implementing youth. Now he has the problem of he's got these youth players squad and a massive squad, and he's got a lot of egos to balance as well within some of the signings he's made. Not saying I don't think he won't do it.
I don't know about that because I think they're all young, and
they're all hungry.
They're all young and hungry, and they kind of like. I mean, Havertz doesn't look like he's got an ego. He seems like
mellow yellow, right?
Really, yeah. Werner seems
yellow.
like just the perfect sort of player to manage. He's
like, a German engine.
His remarks. He always fits for these type of games when his knees covered in ice. Yeah. After that, like that's what you want. I think you've also got to understand that Frank's probably recruiting on character.
Yeah, exactly. A certain caliber of player, a certain mental fortitude. Because you've got to remember one thing about Frank. They always say that, managers pick players, not just for the team, but in terms of the transfer market, who are kind of an extension or a somewhat reflection of who they were.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard was so calm and level-headed when he played for us. Like, the thing that will forever be etched in my mind was that drubbing we gave to Bayern Munich. And Lizarazu losing his shit on the touchline and shoving Frank hard, arguably in the Champions League at that level should have at least been a yellow. Frank didn't even react to that. All right, calm down.
Yeah, but
he was always so level-headed.
He was, but I mean, you say that, and I agree, but All or Nothing documentary, for example, just something to take from Mourinho actually talking about Frank Lampard. And when they ask, is he the best professional you work with? He's like, yeah, 100%, he's up here. Frank Lampard obviously is very, very high standards because that's what he set himself. Yeah. But you speak to most managers or you see their interviews and they all say that this is a completely different generation of players with a completely different mantra, with completely different problems. Like we were saying last week.
Computer game addictions.
Well, I mean, you got that.
Twitch streaming and social media.
Yeah, but you got like the whole...
Bloody TikToks.
Oh, God, Lewandowski, what were you doing?
Oh, my God, yeah.
It's the
Lewandowski.
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 No, maybe you did not understand the joke. I said Lewandowski. It's like
I love that. I love that. It's great.
Did you know that Mooch did stand-up comedy as his job?
Lewandowski.
Okay. But yeah.
You didn't come from Mooch, right?
Yeah, I know. It's Mooch's. It's Mooch's.
It was mine, Muller.
Mooch's the. But yeah, no, it's I think Lampard has an issue there in terms of dealing with that. But again, we'll have to see as time can tell. I think balancing the squad is going to be a very big thing this season.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have, but because I was asked this yesterday when we did stuff with the Red Men. Do I think Lampard can do it? Of course I do.
Yes.
But only time will tell. So we'll have to see as time goes on. Lampard has a very big job.
I think this season is all about galvanising and challenging. We're probably not going to be winning the league. And then hopefully once this evil sort of Kevin, what were we calling it?
Kenneth,
Global
whatever,
bastard.
Global bastard is over, and we have a proper pre-season. We've had time to bed in these players, and then maybe make 1 or 2 signings next summer. Then I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I think we're going to turn a lot of heads. I really think we should be gunning for second this season. I mean,
Liverpool looked dodgy at the back.
They did. They looked dodgy.
Van Dijk.
I think Liverpool looked
setting
dodgy,
up Bamford which was great.
City, of course, are going to play beautiful football as they always do.
But they were off the pace last year.
They were off the pace
But
last year.
I
I
mean,
do not think they've strengthened.
But to be fair, we
Nathan
haven't.
Ake, rate him. He's not the heir apparent of Vincent Kompany.
We haven't.
He's just not.
We haven't seen them play yet, obviously, because they've had their games
We'll
postponed.
see
So
them
we'll have to
play.
see.
They're going to
But
play great football. They're going to do great.
I
think we can
But,
pick them.
but I mean, with that, sorry to cut you off, Mooch,
No,
but
no, it's fine.
We're talking. Obviously, we're talking about Liverpool. They're our next game. So what we should do is
Yeah.
we should save that and have that conversation in our preview, which we'll release. We might film it straight after this. We might film it on another day. We'll have to see. We haven't decided yet because we're very organised. Yeah, look, I think should we just end it
wrap
there?
up there?
Should we wrap up?
Yeah, that's a good
And
way
we can
to
look
end.
forward to it. I think. Look, Chelsea, 3 points on the board.
Teaser for the next video.
Fantastic. Got that going as well. A podcast. 2 on the bounce as well in 2 weeks. Very proud of us. I'm very proud of us. Thank you,
It's
Eden.
a live podcast, technically, to one person.
Which was actually what we were going to say we were going to do because we wanted to do the Brighton watch.
Eden the engineer.
Yeah. It will happen, but we can't do the Liverpool one. There's an event on here. So,
StreamYard.
No, but it's what we were saying last week is what we'd love to do is obviously, I mean, I can just probably fit this in an edit or I'll just put a picture in. We actually sat, obviously, in the Vauxhall Comedy Club. There's obviously socially distanced spaces where people could come and, thanks to Mooch, potentially watch us
along,
do a
yeah.
podcast, do a watch along. We can do live commentary, stuff like that, have a laugh,
Get
answer
drunk.
questions, and get pissed. Exactly. Yes, there's that. But yeah, anyway.
something
As we always
to
do.
look forward to,
Exactly.
potentially,
As we always do.
especially seeing as we can't go to the games.
Exactly. So,
And we're in West London,
and exactly. We're
technically.
great. I mean, it's,
Southwest.
it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
It's
it's-
an SW postcode. It's West London.
but yeah, anyway, that's that. Mooch, usual sign off, please, sir.
Yeah, thanks very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to follow some comedy, we're going to be releasing some of the comedy clips from Vauxhall Comedy Club. Go follow our page, Vauxhall Comedy Club, on YouTube, Vauxhall Comedy on Twitter, Vauxhall Comedy Club on Instagram, and me, Mooch about.
And that, yeah. Nico?
Yeah, if you are, as well as subscribing to the channel, please, to plug Mooch, plug Mooch's statement rather, remember to tickle Zibel. Tickle Zibel.
Get that on t-shirts.
If you are fans of movies as well as football, please be sure to check out my other podcast, The Movie Mount Rushmore, available every single Sunday. We do a new top 10 show, counting down the best, sometimes worst, in movies. The one we released this week was ranking the Fox X-Men movies, now that the era of Fox X-Men movies has come to an end. What was your favorite? You can also vote for... Actually, Deadpool was my favorite. You can also vote for our top 4 in the poll, which you can find on my Twitter account at MovieMTRushmore. And if you like wrestling, I know it's very, very niche, but if you do like wrestling, check out the Ministry of Wrestling podcast that releases every single Saturday. Yes, I like wrestling. Sue me. Is it fake? Yes. Still like it.
It's sort of soap opera. It's basically the same
It's
thing.
pantomime with men doing crazy shit.
Boiled up pantomime.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, and obviously, as we've said, I'll echo both their statements. Subscribe to the Chelsea Echo. Obviously, you get a podcast every single week. Might even get 2 a week. We don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Once we get the studio up, it's gonna be a lot easier.
We'll have to see. But yeah, obviously make sure to check that out. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Obviously subscribe to my personal channel as well. I actually had my internet being fitted tomorrow, which means I can actually start uploading content.
get out of this
Vodafone,
place
Virgin,
every-
BT.
It's like, I could never see Mooch again.
Who you got? Virgin, Vodafone, BT?
Virgin, because it was funny.
That's all right.
I got bored
So
on the
Virgin
phone.
Media.
No, it was no. I enjoyed it because I was really bored because they were making me wait on the phone for 40 minutes. And then when they answered the phone, I said, "Hello, is this Virgin?" They went, "What?" How Virgin said, "What?" And then the conversation went from there, and I got a discount.
Did you get your free gift for signing up with
Christ.
Virgin?
No, they tried to sell me a landline
Nope,
and
so
Virgin TV.
Look on their T's and C's. They owe you 1 of 4 free gifts, one of them being a GoPro. They owe you that shit when you
Boom!
sign up for them.
I love that GoPro, motherfuckers. Give it to me now. But anyway, outside of that, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my personal. Check out Imperial Wharf as well. Obviously, games are going to be uploaded every week now that we have an editor and I have internet, which is absolutely fantastic, which means I can focus on doing more amazing stuff like this for you guys. And obviously, yeah.
What if
care
they want to
yourselves.
come and watch a game of Imperial Wolf? Louis?
If you would like to come watch a game of Imperial Wolf, obviously, socially distance and making sure that you keep yourself safe. We are actually in the process of sorting out our new home ground, and we have some news coming in regards to what we are doing next. But obviously, make sure you check out my channel for that so you can keep in the loop, because I will be having a podcast with myself coming soon. Me and Kitman Benj. The Louis Beneventi podcast. Nico's a bit butthurt about that. Yeah.
Right.
Nico's upset. Anyway, take care. Love you lots. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.